So I just saw the 2026 film Send Help, directed by Sam Raimi, starring Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien. And I gotta say, it was a very pleasant surprise. I wasn't expecting to have so much fun watching this. I thought it would be just another run-of-the-mill thriller, kind of some comedy sprinkled in there, but it was very enjoyable. Sam Raimi is firing on all cylinders in this. It's got great horror aspects. It's got some like slapstickish comedy. But his camera work really stands out in this, and that's not a negative. It's got a lot of silly and cheesy transitions and a lot of fun, different angles that you really wouldn't expect from a movie so grounded as this. And I say grounded very loosely because this is an extreme film. The violence on display is played for laughs for the most part. And it is very bloody, and it's kind of a gross out kind of humor, but it works. At the end of the day, it is a horror comedy where most of the comedy comes from the extreme violence and the extremity of the situation most often being the punchline. And I could see with a different director this film becoming very stale. Just two people on an island, I feel like the content might run out kind of quick. But with this, it just keeps you on your toes. I never felt bored. I never felt like there was a lull in the action. It was kind of always moving forward, and you could see that through how advanced they were starting to get on their time on the island. And outside the plot and the ending and stuff, that's another kind of a fun aspect, is you get to see these two characters kind of adapt to their situation and really like build up their living situation. And starting now, I'm going to get into more like spoiler-like talk. It's got a lot of good fake outs, the most memorable one being the rat part. Rachel McAdams' character is saying that she's going to castrate Dylan O'Brien's character, and the whole time I was like, they're not going to do this. Obviously, they're not going to do this. And she got closer, did whatever, and blood started spurting off screen while he was screaming, and that got me. I really thought they did that, but it was just a really good fake out. And another good fake out was kind of just the whole ending. There being a house on the island in the very back, and it was alluded to in the first few minutes that they're on the island, but I thought it was just going to be some weird ritualistic thing that she didn't want them to find or something like that, but it was just a full-on house, and that's kind of cool because they, like I said earlier, they did start with kind of nothing at this island, and their sticks and spears and stuff like that, and by the end they're fighting with shotguns in a living room and stuff. It's just in the short time of the movie they go from one extreme to the other. It was kind of cool to see. I think the two main characters did very well, Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien. Very good performances. Anytime there's a small cast like that, it's always heightened on the acting. There's less distractions, I guess. But performances aside, just they're both well-written characters, both very sympathetic for different reasons. I like hers especially. It's just she's completely guilt-ridden, and it kind of makes her even more likable. And that's another thing that the film does, is it makes Rachel McAdams' character very likable very early, and you feel a lot of empathy towards her very early on. And that's mirrored by the unlikable, you could say, antagonist Dylan O'Brien, which is very unlikable from very early on. And what is very interesting in this is they completely swap places by the end. So it's very interesting to be cheering for one character and against one character, and then by the end just completely switch the two. I think you can definitely see the influence of The Evil Dead on this, especially there's a few jump scares that feel straight out of that film. And like I said earlier, the almost slapstick nature of the violence and the fights. I really did enjoy this film very early in the year, but it is so far my favorite thing that I've watched this year. Dylan's character was a dick, but he did not deserve all that would happen to him in this. And overall, I'll give it like a 7.5 out of 10.